Welcome back to mathematics class, and we're continuing looking at algebra. Here we're continuing translating between algebraic symbols and worded expressions, where we're translating some worded expressions into algebraic symbols. I have 5 pieces of activities for you to do here, and you have A, B, C, D, and E. And we have marks here. What I want you to do is pause the video and complete each of these activities. And then when you've completed them all, you continue. So go ahead, 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. Alright, so you've paused the video and you've completed each of these activities. I want you to give yourself marks for getting them right. What's the total marks here? 2, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 4, 9, 9 and 5, 14 marks total. But let's go through these and see what they are like. A. What A says is that you must write down 3 less than 1, less than x. 3 less than x. If you have 3 less than 10, it means you have 10 at first and then you have 3 less. 3 less than 10 would be 7, right? So 3 less than x would be x minus 3, just like 3 less than 10 would be 10 minus 3. 3 less than x is x minus 3. You cannot put 3 minus x though, because this is saying x less than 3. It's 3 less than 10. Alright, so if you had that, you would have 1 mark so far. Oh, let's not erase it. Let's look at part B. Part B. The root of the sum of x and y. 2 marks. We want to look at the sum. Sum means you're going to add the sum of what? X and y. So it's going to be x and y that you're going to add. Now what about it? What about it? Right? You're looking at the root. Now when you say root, you're talking about the square root. Alright? So it's the square root of the sum of x and y. The root of the sum of x and y would be this. So if you did that, you can give yourself 2 marks. Let's look at part C. The sum of the squares of A and B. Alright. The sum means you're going to add something of the squares of A and B. Alright, let's say the square of A. We have the square of A. I also have the square of B. So the square of A is A squared, the square of B is B squared. The square of A and B. What about them? The sum of them. So we're going to put A squared and B squared. The square of A and the square of B means the square of A and B. Then the sum of the squares of A and B, the sum of those would be, you add them. Alright, so if you had A squared plus B squared, you could have B squared plus A squared too. That would be right. But A squared plus B squared, you can give yourself 2 marks. Alright, so you got 2 marks for that. Let's look at D for 4 marks. Let's do D up here. For D, the square of the sum of A and B. Alright, the sum of A and B. A plus B is the sum of A and B. The sum means you add A and B. It is A plus B. The square of that. Now notice It is not a square plus b square. So the square of all of that. So it's going to be all of this and you square. So what you would have is a plus b all squared, and you get your 4 marks for that. Alright, so if you had that, give yourself 4 marks. Now let us look at part E of this problem. The root of the sum of the squares of a and b. Alright, the square of a and b. You have a squared and you have b squared. The root of the sum of what? We already looked at the square of a and we looked at the square of b. The square of a and the square of b. The sum of them means you're going to put a plus sign between them. Then the root of all of that, the root of the sum of the squares of a and b, means the square root of all of this. So that's what you have. If you had that, you give yourself 5 marks so that you will get full marks. Alright? So if you didn't get full marks, I want you to redo it without looking back at the working and try to get it right. Complete and try to get full marks. Don't stop until you get full marks. Alright? Without looking at what I wrote here. Alright, so that's it for this video for now. We'll continue with algebra in another video. So I'll see you.